right, how are we all doing? So today, going to look at some technical stuff on the drums, and it's a bit like if you're learning guitar or piano or violin or any other instrument where you'd have to practice your scales and things. When you're playing the drums, you also have to practice certain techniques which will improve your playing. So what we're going to look at today is the rhythm practice sheet, which is this one here. You can find that on the website, okay? It's in the download section. Just let me know if you're not sure, you can't find it. But basically what we're doing on this one is we're going to be swapping between different note values. So the note values are quavers, crotchets, triplets, and so on. So if we have a quick think about those different note values, we've got crotchets, which we would just count, and we're quite used to these, but we would count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Then we've got quavers. When we're counting the quavers, they're the ones that we count as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright? So very often on our hi-hat, we've got our quavers, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then we've also got things like triplets. So with a triplet, we have to fit 3 into one beat. So different ways to count them. 1 and 2 and 3 and or some people go 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, and that's quite a handy way as well. Helps you remember they're called triplets as well, doesn't it? So if we were doing that, we'd be going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Semiquavers. Semiquavers is when we fit 4 into a beat. I generally count these as 1 and a. So we're going to go 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2. And we quite often find the semiquavers on fills at the end of a beat. So you might be kind of going. So where I'm hitting the 2 beats of semiquavers, 3 and a, 4 and a, bam, back in. All right. So we quite often use those. Really important to be able to kind of switch between them. So if we're playing a rhythm and our rhythm is using, for example, crotchets, so we're going. We need to be able to switch to semiquavers or triplets or other things quite often for our fills, all right? So for example, if we were doing, again, let's just do semiquavers, but if we started with crotchets on the main rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have to do a semiquaver fill. We need to be able to do that easily and accurately, so it's really worth practicing, okay? All right, so first little exercise we're going to do just uses crotchets and quavers. All right, so it's nice and simple. This lesson, this stream, is really aimed at all levels, really, okay? All levels that I'm teaching. So obviously if you happen upon this video and you're highly advanced, this is not for you, obviously. This is for, you know, people learning in the lower grades, really. But good for practicing all the people I'm teaching, even up to grade 5. Even if you're doing grade 5 or grade 6, it's still worth practicing this stuff. So we're going to start nice and easy. And it's just going to be, as I said, crotchets and quavers. So our first bar, right hand, is just going to go on the snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy, huh? we can all do that. Then the second bar is going to change the quavers. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. When we go to the second bar and we're playing the quavers, we're going to use right, left, right, left. Okay. So the second bar will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if we just put those two together, you can see that we're swapping from the quaver, from the crotchet to the quaver. All right. So I'll play that and show you what I mean. So we're going to go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right. Reasonably simple. Really important to stay in time though. When you're practicing this at home, you should have a click, because otherwise you're not sure you're accurate. Okay, so a click is really important to be playing along with something else. For now, just play along with me. That will work just fine for now. But when you're practicing at home, get that click on and pay attention to the speed you set it at. All right, let's start reasonably slow. Here we go. Play along with me. So we're going to do a bar of crotchets, a bar of quavers, and then repeat it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay? Nice and easy. Let's make it a bit quicker. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Still good? Excellent. Bit quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right. Another thing we can do is, once we've got the hang of that, we can kind of move around the kit. So it's a good idea just to move around clockwise. So we'll start on the snare, and then we'll go to the left tom, the mid tom or the right tom, depends what you want to call it, and then the floor tom. Okay? So we're going to go 2 bars on each. So crotchets, quavers, crotchets, quavers, crotchets, and so on. All right? All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right. Again, if you're finding that easy, just speed it up a little bit. So here we go, a bit quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right. So take it at your own pace. If you're finding it really easy, just put that speed right up, see how fast you can go. Another really useful thing is starting with the left hand. This time you might want to come anti-clockwise around the kit. You might want to start on the floor tom and then move around to the snare. Okay, but starting with the left hand makes quite a difference. It's surprising. Normally it's the weaker hand, so it's interesting. All right, next one. This is triplets. This is a little bit harder. So what we're going to do first of all is just make sure that we can play a triplet. So a triplet, as I said, you need to fit 3 hits into one beat. Okay, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1. Okay, what you'll notice is that because there's 3 hits now, there's 3 in each beat that we're playing. If you start on your right hand, 1 and a, 2, you'll notice 2 is on the left hand, and then 3 will be back on the right hand, and 4 will be back on the left hand. So it's swapping each time, okay? Because we're playing an odd number of hits. So let's just try playing some triplets together, okay? So we're just going to play 1 and a, 2 and a, 3. Try counting out loud as well. Really does help, honestly. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1. Okay, bit slower. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1. Okay? Now, let's try that once more before we think about playing it with crotchets in front of it, okay? So here we go again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right. So what we're going to do now is just try putting some crotchets in front. So that's just going to be on the beat, so on the number. And we're going to start slowly, okay? Because otherwise it might be tricky to fit those 3 hits in between. So, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right, this time we're going to go again. We're going to play a bar of crotchets, so 1, 2, 3, 4, a bar of the triplets, and then we're going to go back to the crotchets and then the triplets. So again, we're just alternating, swapping each time. All right? Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay. So if that is feeling good, that's fantastic. We're going to speed it up a bit. If you're still working on that one, it's not quite right. Again, just slow it right down and just make sure you're counting out loud. 1 and 2 and 3 and It can be a good idea even to just count that without playing. Just practice counting it so you're used to saying the phrase. Anything new that we're learning, particularly with an instrument, we're trying to think a lot. We're trying to use our hands and our arms, and you know, it's a lot going on, right? So if you can just simplify things, it makes it easier. So here we go. We're going to go a bit quicker, but if you're still not quite happy with it, then just slow it right down and you practice at your speed, nice and slowly, while we just do a minute or so a bit quicker, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 right, hopefully that was really good. As I said, take these exercises and practice them during the week, right? Because these are technical things. They're designed to help you improve. So take your time with them. Just do them a bit every day and you'll get much better, really fast, okay? And you'll notice these things in lots of the songs that you're learning, and suddenly you'll recognize them and be able to play them straight away. All right. Next one is we're going to move on to the semiquavers. So if you think about what we've done, is we've gone crotchets, that's 1 beat. Then we've gone quavers, which is 2. Triplets, which is 3. And now semiquavers, which is 4. So we're doing it in a kind of structured, sensible, easy way to remember. Okay, so 1 beat, 2 beats, 3 beats, 4 beats in each. Okay, so this time obviously we're going to end up going for each beat, so 4 hits for each beat. You can count this 1 and a, 1 and a, 1 and a. Okay, that's better than just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's easy to get lost then and not know what beat you're on. Because if I'm just doing 1 and a, I can then do 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, and I know where I am all the time on the beats. If you're just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, it's hard to count that first beat. One way around that is counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. But that's quite tricky as well, okay? So, right, so let's just practice the semiquaver. So we're going to play 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1. You'll notice because these are an even number of hits, 4 is an even number, isn't it? That our first strike, the strike on the number, on the beat, is always now with our right hand if we start with our right hand. If you started with your left hand, it would always be with your left hand. Okay, but we're just starting with our right, so it's always going to be on the right. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1. All right? Okay, let's do that. And we're just going to do that nice and slowly. So just semiquavers, 4 strikes to a beat. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1. Same as the last 2 exercises, we're going to go from crotchets into those semiquavers. All right. Now be careful not to start these crotchets too quickly, because if you start kind of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1, 2, it's surprising how fast those semiquavers have to be if you need to get 4 in if you start counting quickly in the first place. So nice and slowly, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so remember to count the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 1 and a 2 and a. A good way to actually do this, let's start doing it this way first. A good way to do it is to count the 1 and a 2 and a anyway, but just hit on the number like this. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and, because then we're ready and we've already got our the timing right, okay, for when those semiquavers start. Let's do it like that just to make it a bit easier to start with. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1. Okay. So this time what we're going to do is the same as we've done before. We're going to alternate. So a bar of crotchets, bar of the semiquavers, bar of the crotchets, bar of the semiquavers, and just swap between them, okay? All right, Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. All right. If you did that, you're doing a really good job. Again, we can go a little bit quicker if you fancy it. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Like that, okay? And again, if you're feeling comfortable with it, set your click. Most electric drum kits have clicks built in. If you haven't got one, then just use one with an app on your phone. If you can't hear that, just obviously use headphones, okay? And the idea is to go up to a steady speed where you're not struggling. As soon as you start tensing up, like that, and your arms get really stiff because you're trying to go as fast as you can, you need to slow down and just make sure it's accurate and play relaxed as you can, okay? All right. Now what we're going to do, this one's a challenge. So what we're going to think about is going from crotchets to quavers to triplets to semiquavers. So if you think about what you're doing there, is you're going from 1 each beat, 1 hit each beat, to 2 each beat, to 3 to 4. All right? So we'd be going 1 each beat, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and to 3, 1 and to 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and to 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right. So yeah, it can be quite tricky just to keep that going. Really important to use a click to make sure that what you're doing is accurate and you're not just counting 3 but playing too slowly or too quickly for your beat. Okay, so let's try going from the crotchet to the quaver again. All right, and then we'll add the triplet, and when we get that, we'll add the semiquaver. So just crotchet to quaver again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay. Nice and easy, yeah? So now we're going to go crotchet, quaver, triplet. So it's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right. Okay, so here we go. Play with me, okay? We're going to go slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. One more time. You notice the feel of the triplet is completely different, isn't it? Really interesting. It's a really good one to get into the fills. Let's go again. So crotchet, quaver, triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay. We're going to go for the semiquaver as well. but I think we just need to play through that one a couple more times. So let's just practice going from the quaver into that triplet. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Okay? Here we go. Bit slower than I was counting then. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. All right. Interesting, isn't it? So let's go. Semiquaver. What's a semiquaver? Have a quick think. Semiquaver, how many hits are we doing? That's right, 4. 4 to each beat. 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1, and so on. So we're going to play triplet into semiquaver. This is quite tricky. All right. So if you're not happy yet with your quaver into your triplet, just keep practicing that. And we're going to go for a triplet into a semiquaver if we are happy to move on. Remember, if you're watching this later, you can always just rewind it and take your time. Just keep playing it until you get that triplet right. Okay? So a triplet is going to go, let me get a click on here. Let's get a bit slower than that. Okay, so if I'm counting a triplet, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, and then a semiquaver, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Okay, I'm going to slow it down a bit more. So triplet would be 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Just so you know, this is at 75 beats per minute. Okay, so if you're setting your click up, this is at 75, which isn't quick. It's only a little bit over a minute, you know. It's a little bit over 60 BPM, isn't it? So that would be 1 every second, is what I mean. So 75, not much quicker than that, but we're trying to fit a lot into that time, aren't we? 3 hits at the moment. Let's just try that again with a triplet. Are you ready? 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. So as I was saying, counting is really important. So it's a really good idea to count the triplet before you start playing, so you're ready and your head is there. You know, you're already thinking in triplets. One more time, triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Okay, semiquavers. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Okay, as I said, if this is a bit quick for you, play it a bit slower, but of course practice during the week and try and get up to speed, okay, with this. So here we go, 75 BPM. So we're going to go triplet into semiquaver. So I'll just count that to start with. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Okay, if you can count it, you can play it. That's the point. So, as I say quite often, counting out loud, really important skill. Here we go. Starting on triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. And we're going to play through all the way now. To join in, we're going to play triplets into semiquavers. Okay, wait for the clicks. 1, 2, 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Again. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Alright. Feel free to pause. Anytime you can pause the video if you're watching back, of course, and just practice it until you're happy. What we're going to do now is just alternate between them, a bit like we were doing earlier. So we're going to play triplets, semiquavers, triplets, semiquavers. Okay? Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Alright, so that's what you want to do. Just keep practicing those different rhythms. Okay, as I say, the sheet can be found on the website in the resources. It is the rhythm practice sheet. It looks like that one. Have fun with it. It is quite a challenge. We will do more next week and look at other technical things as well. All right, enjoy the practice. Take care, and I will see you soon.